Let me start with this because we got to talk a little Thursday night football. And it's an interesting game when it comes to what's going on with the Los Angeles Chargers. They host the Vikings. Obviously, we'll see JJ McCarthy's status. The line is built in with that hook. It's Chargers minus 3.5. Vikes came back nicely against the Eagles, couldn't win in the end. I like the Chargers. I don't love them, but I like them minus the 3.5, but I want you to buy it down to 2.5. I don't believe they're going to have 2 duds in a row under Harbaugh at home. The Vikings have to travel out to Los Angeles. They come off the rough loss at the end to the Vikings. Or to the Eagles. That's an emotional thing. To me, give me the Chargers minus the 3.5, buy it down to 2.5, and fire up those lightning bolts. Also, I like Ladd McConkey props. I think he's going to go over his receptions, over his yards. I think he's going to be a big target against that Vikings defense on Thursday night football. Here are my look aheads for you. This Carolina team's starting to play better. You got to check the Bryce Young status. Remember, he had that ankle injury, went out late, and they didn't bring Andy Dalton in, but they hang on against a terrible Jets team. But I like what Carolina's doing. Right now, the hook is built in. It's Carolina plus 7.5 against the Bills. Monitor the status of Bryce Young, but I still, if Young plays, if it goes down to 7 or 6.5, just buy it up to 7.5. I like Carolina plus a touchdown and a hook against the Bills. The Bills are still my Super Bowl pick, but they're not playing at the level that they were earlier in the year. I think Carolina can hang in that game and lose by a touchdown or less. How about the Giants? Off the heartbreak. Now, this is a dangerous game because you never know how teams are going to react. Remember, Brian Dable's job is basically on the line. They go down in a just absolute heartbreaking fashion in a game they definitely should have won. A lot of times you can say, oh, that team should have won. Maybe they should have. They should have won that game. Obviously, this game is in Philadelphia. Giants right now plus 6.5. I want you to buy it up to 7.5. I think it's another one-score game. I think the Giants, it's a good thing they're not playing like the Saints or a team that they don't care about, Jacksonville. They're playing a division rival off that really rough loss. There's no extra motivation needed to play the Eagles. Plus, they just beat them. The Eagles are going to be fired up. I like the Giants plus the 7 and hook, buy it up to that. Atlanta, in the end, they were in that game, but then in the end, they lose by 10 to San Fran. I still think Atlanta is a very good team. Anytime you have a guy like Bijan Robinson, you're going to be in any games. You can control the clock. They're laying 8.5 over Miami. The Dolphins are disgustingly bad. And to me, they might bench Tua, so obviously maybe monitor that. But this is a Dolphins team that's going to get blown out a lot this year, especially when it comes to a game on the road in Atlanta. Maybe you see the Dolphins in this game for a quarter and a half. I think they win this game by 20. So lay the 8.5. Miami has got awful. I rarely will give out plays where I lay these kind of points. I'm always looking for underdog value or, obviously outright wins on money lines. I don't like laying a lot of points. I like buying stuff down because the NFL is so close and filled with parity. I don't mind laying the 8.5. I can win this game by 20 or 25 points. And then the Cowboys. Cowboys off that big win against the Commanders division game. Now they play the Denver Broncos. And the Broncos off a miracle win. A lot of times you don't think it would, but it could kind of deflate a team because they're living this incredible high. Got to get back to work. That game is on the road for the Cowboys, which is probably a better situation for them. Broncos are at home, a little more comfortable. Cowboys plus 3.5. Dak Prescott's playing out of his mind. Pickens, they get CeeDee Lamb back. He immediately scores a touchdown. The Cowboys defense at times is a little bit desired, but they're playing better, and they held Washington in check for the most part with that good offense of Jaden Daniels. I like the Cowboys with the built-in hook plus 3.5 at Denver. There's your look at it. Believe in the dream. Out of here.